Hello, everybody. I hope all of y'all are having a good day today. Before I get started, I just want to say to you guys that there's some of y'all out there that worry that I might be getting sidetracked with all this stuff going on in the world with COVID and all these things, the divisions. And I'm not. It may seem like it at times because I'm posting things, about COVID and the vaccine and things like that, but I've really been seeking an answer to a question. I believe that if you have the Spirit of God within you and you're being led by Christ, that you won't be afraid. God will take you to some places and show you some things and teach you things, and that's what I've been doing. On this channel here on YouTube, I've got 38, 39 subscribers. Most of you guys came from the old channel, and you guys can handle the deep stuff. You can handle it. So I'm not afraid of, causing one of you guys to stumble. I believe that the Spirit of God is in you, that's not going to happen. Anyway, I've been just feeling this heaviness off people, and so I've had this question, to God, what is going on? I know there's more to this. Explain it to me in a way to where I can show others what's happening in the world. And so that's why I went down this rabbit hole, looking at the vaccines and looking at COVID and the meanings of the names and stuff like that. And I just want to say just how amazing God is, because He put all this together for me in the past couple of days in order for me to give a message about what's going on in the world. And most of you know, it's fear, the spirit of fear and all that, but I asked God the question in a particular way, and He's given me the answer, because it seems like the fear and the hate and all that is a virus, and it's spreading. And, a few days ago, a couple of weeks ago in the Spirit, I just kept hearing COVID backwards. And so COVID backwards is Devok. And I looked at the Hebrew word for Devok is possessed by an evil spirit, And then I looked at Delta, the Latin word Delta, it's a number, but it means doorway, and I've been seeing this fear. And so I stumbled across something that the American Indians believed in. And it kind of goes along with the Gnostics and with Christianity and with Islam. The American Indians, the Creed tribe, they believed in this word called Wetigo and Wetiko. And they believed that Wetiko was like a virus, a spiritual virus. And it started off with fear. That was one of the first symptoms of this virus. And once someone was infected with Wetiko, the more serious they became, the less compassion, the less empathy that they had. They become spiritually sick because fear ate them up. And because of this fear, the people would see them doing things that person would have never done before. But because of fear, it turned them into a different type person. And so they looked at fear as a virus, and that it was controlled. It was a force, a spiritual force. The Gnostics believed in the archons, which were spiritual parasites like a virus. Christians call them demons. The Muslims call them jinn. It's all the same concept, but it's like a virus. It spreads. And starting to rain hard here. It's rainy season in the Philippines, and we have a metal roof, and it's loud. But anyway, this is it's a virus. It's a spiritual parasite or a spiritual virus that literally changes people. It gets in them and eats them up. And So that's why they lose their compassion, their empathy for others, and it's all about self-preservation. It's about self and taking care of self. And today was my day to share at church, or I don't like to call it the building church, we're the church, but at the worship center. It was our day to share, and Lynn is always my interpreter. We're partners. But yesterday I'd finished up my sermon. I always do like a little rough draft, and then I'll get up there and I'll just kind of go over the rough draft, but the rest of it you just kind of freestyle. And but I always go over everything with Lynn the night before and then that morning of, just to make sure, because, interpreting is not an easy job. You got to get the words just right, especially when you start talking about spiritual things. And so today, well, Lynn hates it whenever I change something up last minute. But today we were there, and it was during praise and worship, and everybody was singing. And an old story popped up in my mind from my past that I knew would go perfect with our message of fear today and what causes it and the cure for it. And it's kind of a funny story from my past, but I leaned over and whispered into Lynn's ear while everybody was singing. I said, look, don't panic, but I'm going to kind of go off a little bit. I got something to add. She looked at me like, oh man. I said, don't worry, it's going to be good. I want to tell you, it was amazing, and I know God prompted me to remember this story, and it went so well with today's message, because I shared with the congregation about Watigo, about fear as a virus and how it spreads, and you can become a super spreader of fear. From my past, I've got a cousin. I'm not going to say his name, but I love my cousin. Me and him were more like brothers than cousins growing up. And back in the early 90s, my cousin moved off to a remote place, and it had a pond. And my cousin had a dog. He loved this dog. They were best friends, but he was remote. And in this pond was an alligator. And the previous people that had been there before raised chickens, and so whenever they had chickens die, they would throw them in there and feed the alligator. My cousin loved the isolation, and so he stayed out there for maybe a year and a half, 2 years, and just living off the land. And he would always give the alligator some food. Well, my cousin discovered that on this land that there was lots of mushrooms. And my cousin loved drinking mushroom tea. Matter of fact, I went out there a few times and had some tea with him. But his funds started running low there for a while, and he wasn't able to catch as much food as he had been doing before. And so his alligator was kind of going hungry. And one day, him and his dog were just walking around out by his pond, and the dog was always with him. That dog loved my cousin. I mean, they were inseparable. They were out walking by this pond, and this alligator had it. He was hungry, and he had decided, I'm going to eat one of you guys, and I don't care which one it is. And he bust up, or she, it was a female. The females are fast, and they'll run on land really fast. She busted up out of that water and got on that land and took off after him. And my cousin did something that he would have never done before, but fear took over. He grabbed that dog by the collar and threw it behind him in front of the alligator, trying to save himself, to keep from getting ate by the alligator, and he took off. The dog didn't get ate, don't worry, the dog got away too. But he did something that he would have never done, all because of fear. It's just in that instant, he grabbed that dog by the collar, he threw him under the bus, he threw him right there. And that dog, never forgive him for that. That dog, from that moment on, that dog would have nothing to do with him. My cousin would go, look, that dog hates me now. He would say, look, come here, bud, come here, boy, come here. And that dog, he'd look at him and growl. Yeah, it's like, he never forgave him for that. He's like, I cannot believe you. In the moment I needed you most, You tried to get me killed to save your own self. I shared that with the congregation today because we have a lot of crocodiles here and they understood the story. God is amazing. I love how He gives me stories like that to be able to share with people, because that's fear. And I've been sensing this heaviness, this fear, like I could see it on the congregation for weeks now. I could see it's like their spirits just getting beat, their spirits getting beat. And that's what this thing is doing. I'm not worried about COVID. I'm worried about the spirit of fear that's causing people to react and do things in a way that they would never act before. And it's all because of fear. Perfect love casts out all fear. When you've been in the presence of perfect love and that love has made its home within your heart, there's no reason to ever walk in fear again. I've walked in places and went down rabbit holes looking for answers and asking God to show me and teach me in the way that He teaches me. And I share those things with you guys, taking you on the journey with me. And through that journey over the last 6-7 weeks of me sharing these videos and things, the places I've been to, took me full circle back to the story of my cousin drinking mushroom tea and nearly killing his dog. And has took me back to showing me that this thing is a virus. The problem is not COVID, it's fear, and that love is the cure. I love you all. God bless.